All right.
Sounds
Hello,
good.
everybody, and welcome to the blend. I am Austin from Sentient Blender Productions.
I have Megastrap.
I'm OG Bear.
And today we will be talking about random bullshit for the amusement of someone.
Somewhere.
At least
Yeah.
one.
So
Doing
exactly.
something.
Anybody would like to go first? What's on the agenda for today, chaps?
Awkward hand jobs. The good and the
Really,
bad.
we're going to the awkward hand jobs. All
No,
right.
I'm sorry.
Well, no. All right. No, we've committed. Let's discuss. And what makes this hand job awkward as such?
Well, I think the calluses to start.
Oh, so this is like a seasoned seafaring gentleman giving you a hand job,
Exactly. I mean, it might as well be sandpaper.
like Ernest Hemingway, Old Man in the Sea, that kind of guy.
Yes.
Just grizzled, just torn down by
I
life.
don't know.
Just
I have calloused sandpaper hands that might be enjoyable.
Well, I mean, we'd have to get your wife on here to find out that for sure.
no, we don't. I mean, correct.
As we once told T. Carter, a man is not the only gender that can receive a hand job.
It's true.
All right.
You can diddle some clitoris with them calloused hands of yours.
All right. Well,
right.
this has gone
So let's-
substantially off the rails.
All right, how about you start with the topic?
By the
And
way,
then
that would
we'll
be
go
the
from
fourth
there.
time that we've organically talked about clitoris today.
Yes, that's absolutely the fourth time. Well, I mean,
You had
Let's
some
talk
beef
about-
with a movie I heard recently.
yeah, I suppose.
I
Maybe.
think Men in Black 2 is a funny movie.
No, I'm not talking about Men in Black 2.
Sentient Blenders thinks that
we were-
Men in Black 2 is shit.
Yes, Men in Black 2 is the worst movie ever made. Let's move on.
Confirmed.
What we were talking about is maybe something a bit more topical, because last night I saw in theaters Mad Max Fury Road. See, it's been getting rave reviews for some pretty good reasons. I just didn't like it.
What were the reasons it was getting rave reviews?
Well, I mean, it had everything going for it in terms of like a remake or a continuation of an old series that a lot of other remakes have not done. Because this new movie is rated R and uses mostly, if not all, practical effects. Whereas there are some other remakes, like I could list off a bunch of them, but are just egregious in their like watered down PG-13 versions of the original content, like the new RoboCop movie.
Yeah.
I walked out on that one.
I actually thought that was pretty good, though.
The new Die
see it.
Hards, awful, and the I don't even really want to call it Total Recall, but the Total Recall remake.
Oh, I can't
Well-
watch that.
It was, yeah. So it had everything going for it. I suppose it didn't have a whole lot of dialogue, and it just really, I don't really want to ruin it for anyone, because there is a story, technically, in the movie. But really all it is like a 2.5 hour car chase.
That sounds kind of lame.
How does it stand up to the original? Because the original was basically just a 2.5 hour car chase, but they have some plot here, some plot there, and it, in its 1980s cheesiness was amazing. But
Yeah, no, this definitely had some 1980s cheesiness in it. Hyper fans of the original, I mean, it's got everything there to love. And I believe it was very so different from a lot of the movies that have come out recently.
Would you make the comparison to Escape from New York and Escape from L.A.? Like they're similar but terrible as well as Mad Max and then the Fury Road?
Yeah, I would say that. I suppose, the practical effects in this movie, at least for me, was a bit of a double-edged sword. Because I'm not saying that I would have preferred CGI, because that is never the case with me. But the whole like premise of Mad Max in the Australian outback is that gasoline and other resources, but especially gasoline, was so scarce that people would fight wars over it. But in this movie, they made a big thing about practical effects explosions. And there were a lot of like close proximity actual explosions, like on cars, next to cars. But the only way to do that in terms of like movie magic is you can't have a concussive blast.
Yeah.
So you have to have like a fiery explosion. It deals less damage to the car. It has
There's
less
no
potential
shrapnel.
to damage
Yeah.
the actors. Yes,
No
and it's got
shrapnel.
and it's like a fiery explosion.
It's
It
all
looks
just
better. Yeah,
gasoline.
exactly. Which means and everything in that movie was an explosive. it People were just wasting gasoline left and right. I just couldn't take the movie like. I don't know. Maybe I wasn't supposed to take the movie really that seriously, but I just couldn't.
So here's the question: when you went into this movie, because I deal with this now a lot, it's like, do you go in with a critical brain or a dumb brain, and you're just going to enjoy it? Not to be offensive to anybody, but sometimes when you've done certain things, you're constantly criticizing or looking and taking them apart, and you're already pointing out things that you don't like about it before you just allow yourself to enjoy it.
Well, I can bring a level of balance to that in the sense that I always worry about how they flip the physics switch. My example for that is in Wanted, they have the scene where they drive the car like off a cliff and land it on a bus, and it lands on the bus and then just drives off the bus. No crushing of steel, no destruction to bus, just cruise on by. And then later, they crash a boat into a train, and it smashes train car, lands boat in train car hull, and is completely as it should be. So for me, it's a matter of they keep flipping the physics switch on and off, where this is completely plausible and this is complete bullshit, back and forth, because that drives me crazy and I hate it.
No. Mad Max was pretty good with that. And another thing going for it was another one of the main characters besides Tom Hardy, who I actually really like as an actor playing Max. I hope I get this name right. Clarice Theron.
Charlize
Theron.
super hot.
Charlize.
Playing I believe a character called Furiosa. That's why it's called Fury Road.
It's a terrible name.
Yeah, yeah.
They really worked hard on that one.
Furiosa? Playing, a strong female lead, who was violently likable. So the movie had a lot going for it. I don't know. It didn't do it for me.
And I can't comment on it too much
I haven't
because
seen
I've
it.
never seen the original one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I knew that was going to happen.
I've never seen it as an adult. I remember watching it as a kid and loved every minute of it because it was
Everything
cheesy and
yeah.
terrible and great at the same time.
Well, that's what I was saying about looking at it with like those eyes for entertainment, not, oh, this couldn't happen or this wouldn't happen or plot hole here. It's like the whole point of all these entertainment outlets is just to have some fun and fucking let loose.
Indeed.
That's
I agree
true.
with that.
Like, so I think there's a fine balance of being critical, but then being like, man, did I already judge this project before I even saw it?
Exactly. I mean, I could be a little too critical of Mad Max. I guess I went into the movie theater expecting just like a visceral, like wasteland, like half Book of Eli, half Pacific Rim, just like together in one.
That's a great combination. Make me that movie right now. First of all, both of those were awesome in their own right.
Yeah.
And that sounds like a great thing, you know?
Yeah.
Sign me up. Who's listening? Guillermo del Toro, you're not so busy right now.
Guillermo del Toro, actually, I think he's the one creating the trailer for Fallout 4, which is something we could talk about later.
Well, that's actually what I want to talk about as well.
All right.
And it actually ties in well to the other thing you're talking about. You can keep going, though. Don't.
Okay, I have a question regarding Fallout, unless Blenders wants to continue on this. I've never played the first or the second. I've played a little bit of the third, and now they're on to Vegas and 4 and many other variations of the game that have come out. What is essentially Fallout? Nuclear fallout, everything is blown up in a wasteland, and then you have to explore, find the people that you need, complete the quests with the yes deer, and eventually kill some bad guy and take over the game.
It's
like, what do you
to water.
If I may.
Go ahead. Go ahead. May away.
The point of the game, Megastrap, is that war never changes.
War never changes.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Is that a direct quote or something?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That definitely is a direct quote.
Ron Perlman says that in the intro of every single one.
Yep.
Ron Perlman?
Yeah.
Sweet. He's a
War
beast.
never changes. So,
Speaking of B movies that were great, the fucking Hellboy movies.
I fell asleep during
oh,
both
I
of
haven't
them.
seen those. But the basic premise of Fallout is really, I mean, it's kind of survival, but it is after society has had a bit of a chance to get going. So it's you navigating some of the moral dilemmas that comes with an establishing society, trying to find some sort of normalcy.
Post-apocalypse.
But people's what do you call them? People's desires, people's needs always have them come in contact for each other. And as the games progress and societies become a little bit more advanced, a little bit more organized, you start seeing the NCR, the Brotherhood of Steel, and the Enclave. People start struggling not just for resources but for power. War never changes.
So for me, those games, like the first and the second, are graphically vastly different. But they're at their core the same.
But are they still first person?
No, they're top
view.
Yep.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I've seen people playing the old ones.
And
that's the top view that I see.
And they're equally as full of depth and choice. And the thing I really enjoy about the Fallout, as opposed to you could say like the Elder Scrolls, is for the most part you can off important characters and just completely ruin quest lines.
Yeah,
You really can play that any way you want, and like I've been playing it. It's like, fuck it, I don't want to do it this way.
I don't want to fucking level up and do a whole bunch of shit. I'm sneaking into Vegas.
yeah, but
Sneaking into Vegas.
And it's funny that. Sorry, go ahead, Austin. I was going to say something.
well, my favorite thing about Fallout is that you change the perspective, what your perspective is. You're a different character every time, every game, but every game, I believe, takes place after the end of the original game. So as you progress through the games, time and the wasteland keeps going on. So you see more and more and more of this establishment of order after the nuclear apocalypse. The main character of the Fallout series is not you; it is the wasteland, which is why, I have a list of games. Wow, we're getting into game talk. I have a list of games where I just want to see what happens next, and Half-Life is at the top of that, obviously.
See, sorry, go ahead.
Then Fallout, then The Witcher, and then the Telltale Walking Dead series.
That's where I am. I was the one I was going to throw out, yeah.
I want these people to make new games. I think Fallout 4 is probably going to disappoint.
They're beating a dead horse.
There's like a point where these games hit this apex of what they are, what they're doing, and then like as much build up and hype is around it that it's just never going to live up to it because people get this shit early and they get so fucking wound up and they're like, yeah, it's gonna come out, it's gonna be awesome, it's gonna be awesome, it's gonna be awesome. Oh, it's kind of a piece of shit.
There's a quote from a movie somewhere where it's like you can see where that wave rose to the top, left its watermark, and then has never reached that point again because it's climaxed and now it's just on that downward slope.
That is Hunter Thompson from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Exactly.
There you go.
And
that's
so
exactly where it's
with
from.
these games, it's like these big companies are behind it. It's like, sequel, we know they like this. Sequel, we know they like this. And it's the same thing. Fallout 3, and Fallout New Vegas are the same game. Mechanically, not much has changed.
It's just the same.
But the story of the wasteland definitely evolved.
It does, but it doesn't. I don't think that doesn't warrant a whole nother $60 release.
It's not a chronology as much as you're saying.
I mean, I would like to see them go for like, what if Bethesda did a stealth game? Like just a completely different game. They're absolutely capable of it. There's stealth elements in Fallout. It's just like games and movies are falling into the sequel, the reboot, the sequel, the reboot, and like,
let's make this over again.
Like Dishonored came out, and that was a breath of fresh air. But now they're going to make up Dishonored 2, or even with the Soul stuff. I'm tired of sequels, and with Mad Max, I'm tired of reboots and sequels? Where's the creative ideas? Where's like Memento and shit like that?
The wildly original ideas, like
Yeah, I gotta say, there hasn't been too much in pop culture or movies or television lately that has truly wowed me. Like for me, the biggest thing has been when Marvel got the rights to Daredevil back and made a great series out of it on Netflix.
that's very true.
But again, still a reboot, still the same old tale. Like there isn't too much that's been new that's caught my eye.
Yeah, yeah. I actually have something of that. If you have not seen this movie, after I came out of Mad Max with like mixed feelings, I didn't really know how I wanted to feel. I tried to rack my brain, think, wow, is there any movie that I've seen, be it in theaters or on Netflix or otherwise, that just riveted me to the screen? Like I could not look away. And like even Interstellar had a couple of moments where I was like, okay, maybe not. And then one sprang to my mind. Snowpiercer.
I have no idea what that is.
Wildly original.
I like the sound of when you say wildly.
It's on Netflix probably still, and it's about all of humanity survived an apocalypse, like a winter apocalypse, by riding on a train, and the train cannot stop. And there's a disconnect between the paying passengers at the front of the train and all the people that managed to get on the back of the train before it closed its doors forever. And it's the story of the people in the back of the train trying to get to the front. And it is so original, but it has a pretty good cast.
Speed with a twist.
See, but I feel like right there when you say Speed, and not saying you in general, but that does a disservice to the idea because we're instantly trying to make it comparable to something that we know that we can relate to.
Yeah, no, I mean, it wasn't like any movie I'd ever seen.
That's cool. I'll have to check it out. Snowpiercer.
Yeah, but for some reason, I mean, it had cast members that I recognized immediately. Like John Hurt is in it.
Ring a bell.
Picture John Hurt.
Oh, John Hurt, he's in my favorite movie scene of all time, and one of the greatest movie deaths of all time.
Ah, and that
would be
from. Oh, sorry. He is the original chestburster from Alien.
Oh
shit. Okay.
And I forget his name, but the guy who plays Captain America plays the main character.
Oh, okay.
Stay with me.
Yeah.
In this movie, he's amazing.
Yeah, because he's not very amazing in the Avengers or Captain America.
No, near the end of the movie, he has a monologue that just made.
I liked him more in Scott Pilgrim versus the World than ever as Captain America.
Is he in Scott Pilgrim?
Oh my God, yes! He's one of the evil ex-boyfriends.
Is he really? Oh wow.
Yeah.
You've never,
but
what?
At the
slackers.
At the end,
that movie's so good.
At the end of Snowpiercer, he has a monologue that just made me go, "Fuck, this guy's good."
You know what? It's funny that you say that because it's like in movies. For example, I'll use this as my example, but I remember when the Batman Begins or The Dark Knight was going to come out, and they're like, Heath Ledger's the Joker. I'm like, do you mean fucking A Knight's Tale, goofy, stupid,
guy, yeah.
blonde Heath Ledger? And that's that perception of that actor because that's all the opportunity they've ever gotten. But when they get like
something
that next level thing, and they just like, holy shit, man,
it blow you away.
I mean, if you guys want to have a little Joker talk, have you guys seen the that like reveal photo for Jared Leto as the Joker in the Suicide Squad?
I've seen the photo of him, and I've seen the photo of the Suicide Squad, and I am not as into it.
No, I'm not really. I mean, I'm not super excited. I mean, to me, in terms of who my Joker is, I mean, in terms of like screen time, like how much Joker like I've gotten.
I bet you're gonna say Mark Hamill.
It's absolutely Mark Hamill.
Yep.
Like
that voice is too perfect.
Yeah, if it's an animated series and I don't hear "Hello, Joker" here, like I'm done. I'm not gonna watch it.
Yep, I have to agree. It's just not the same.
Yeah.
And
listen to me. It's not the look. It's the swag is
Well,
the
no.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think
But
it could be the look too, because if you look at the Jared Leto,
Leto, I think.
Leto. Okay, if
I
you look
think-
at that Joker image, the Joker would never have
Look,
that many tattoos or anything that
Yep.
can identify himself.
Yeah, that I think so too.
It's like the character is so amazing already, and now you're just throwing all this decoration on him to further enhance it, but it just dilutes.
doesn't need exactly. It dilutes it. It dilutes it. I thought that the Nicholson Joker version, as comical as it was,
Oh, no,
was
that's a good one.
very pure.
No.
It was great in his version of it.
In that
And I
time
feel
period,
like
it was.
exactly, and I feel like the Ledger
Absolutely.
version took a great step forward with where that character should be in the movie verse, like the realm.
Yeah.
I don't know if Leto, like, it's one of those things where can they fill the shoes? Nicholson, the Ledger, filled the shoes. Very well done. Loved it. I don't understand why we keep going back to the origin story. Like with Spider-Man. Spider-Man went through the Tobey Maguire phase, and okay, it was good. They had their good moments, they had their bad moments. The third one was terrible. But when I first saw the first remake of Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire in it, in 2001, I think it was fucking incredible. It was
Yeah, it was a good
perfect.
movie.
Everything I wanted. And then they made the sequel, and then they made the sequel, and
The
it was
sequel
terrible.
was the best, in my
They-
opinion.
The Amazing Spider-Man series, again, thank you for the origin story. We know where Spider-Man came from. Can we get into the nitty-gritty stuff where he's
Oh.
growing forearms and ripping
Yeah.
people in half? Please.
It's not.
Please
We'll never get
progress the
there. We'll
story.
never get to the mutant
I
spider.
agree. I
Yeah,
agree,
but,
I thought that Amazing Spider 1 and then the follow-up with Jamie Foxx's Electro was pretty good. A
I thought
different
Electro
version,
was a cool character.
but it was definitely good. Now, if they can stay away from the origin story and progress some storyline, we'll have some Spider-Man movies.
Hey, Meg, I'm going to poke some fun at you real quick. What kind of story is it?
Or origin story.
Origin story?
Yeah,
What
I'm
was I
just
saying?
fucking with you. Origin.
Origin?
But yeah,
Break it.
I do.
Okay.
Sorry.
If I may
Yeah,
interject for just a moment.
Yes, please.
The only reason that the Amazing Spider-Man and the Amazing Spider-Man 2 exist is because Sony had to make another Spider-Man movie, or else its copyright on Spider-Man, or its like ownership of the rights to Spider-Man would run out, and then they would go back to Marvel,
Yep.
and then Marvel could put him in the Avengers. However, it seems that a deal has been
So
struck.
that's where everything went to shit.
Yeah. It seems, however, that a deal has been struck between Sony and Marvel that we may see Spider-Man in a Marvel movie
Yeah.
soon.
Well, and actually, everything went to shit in the Spider-Man 3, where they decided to put every fucking piece of garbage and every... This is the problem with all these movies. Guardians is the only one that's done it right so far. But Spider-Man
I
3...
thought Avengers was good.
I feel like Guardians did it the best, but Spider-Man 3, just fucking Sandman, Venom,
Carnage,
Topher
yeah.
Grace is a fucking wet noodle, and he's fucking Eddie Brock? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
He's 100 pounds soaking wet. What the fuck? He's the emo bully?
Yeah, right?
Like, stop
Yeah,
trying
yeah.
to
Rock's buff at best.
characterize in the time period that you think your audience is. Like, shut the fuck up. Think for once.
Also,
Wow.
the emo dance scene was a little much.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, when he was
I-
like, "Now dig
point,
this."
I was like, done. I'm done with this
Yeah.
movie.
I mean, I can't even tell you other characters from it because it was so terrible and I only saw it once.
I think that was it. No, oh, wait. The Green Goblin was in it, but
Yeah.
not.
yeah, Harry fucking
cool one.
Osborn.
Yeah.
And what's his name?
Willem
Will Dafoe. That's
Willem
it.
Dafoe was
Willem Dafoe
great.
was the good one. Who's the dude that played it in the third one? He's in.
The Seth Rogen friend,
Yeah, he's
Bing.
awesome though.
he is, but I don't think he did a good job of that.
Well, it's just
Franco.
Yeah,
something.
you get what you have to work
Franco, yeah.
with. I mean,
Eh.
that movie was a fucking train wreck, and then like they keep doing this. Like, stop building it up. Stop putting. It's just like every other creative art
It's
and aspect.
It's about the
Keep it
fucking product.
simple, stupid. That's it.
Definitely.
And I mean, I don't know. I like.
Come full circle. Fallout should try. The people that made Fallout should try and do something new, as
Every
opposed to
game
giving
company
us
should.
the same cream-covered pie crap.
Well,
Here's your
let's-
pie. It's not that good. Let's put some whipped cream on it.
Well,
and
if I may,
Yeah, of course.
the original developers, Interplay, of Fallout's 1, 2, and Tactics, gave the reins to Bethesda because they knew that Bethesda was, are an RPG machine.
Yeah.
And they have made Fallout 3. But Obsidian, the same guys that made South Park: The Stick of Truth, oddly enough, made Fallout New Vegas. So Bethesda has actually only ever made one Fallout game.
Well, and
They've
Morrowind.
been-
Obsidian did Morrowind, right?
I'm not sure.
Or I'm pretty sure Obsidian is involved in the Elder Scrolls. I could
In
double
some
check
way.
it, but you'd hear my keyboard.
But Bethesda, as a game-making studio, has probably been working on Fallout 4 for quite some time, and I reserve the right to be excited about it.
You definitely have the right to be excited about it, and maybe I think it's the boardroom, it's the publishers, it's those people that are and ZeniMax is the publisher of those games, I believe, and those are the people that are like, we need to do this one. I mean, you know how long those guys probably worked on Fallout 3, and then to like work on the next one. As a creative person, like, you need variety, or it does become stale, like your Call of Duties or your Assassin's Creed.
Well, on the flip,
What?
sorry. Well, on the flip side of that, what about CD Projekt Red? They've only ever made 3 games: The Witcher, The Witcher 2, and now The Witcher 3.
It's true.
And they love it. But I suppose, credit to you, they said that The Witcher 3 is the end of the story of Geralt of Rivia.
And I'm pretty sure that's
They will
based
never-
off of the books as well, though.
Yes, but they will never be making another Witcher game. In fact, I think the next game that they're making is some sort of cyberpunk cop game.
And how awesome is that? Take a risk. Fucking go for it, man. I know it's easy to say when I'm not the one doing it, but I've definitely taken enough risks creatively and things like that. And yeah, they may not have panned out, but I still feel like I had me intact in it. You know, like, I went for it, I fucked it up, but hey, at
Yeah,
least I
no,
went for
absolutely.
it.
Yeah, man.
I have high hopes for this one. I'd never finished the first Witcher or the second one. It's just a big game, and my computer has a hard time running it. And since this will be on consoles, I'm gonna give it a shot. I mean,
Take advantage of it, right?
I love the story of it. I love the fact that I feel like there's actual morality. There's a lot of gray area in those games,
Oh, yeah.
and it's not like a good meter, bad meter. It's almost like Papers, Please, where it's like you just make the call and like you run with it.
Yeah, actually, I've trying to sell my friend on The Witcher as well. Even from The Witcher 2, I've said that the Witcher series is the closest thing we will ever get to a Game of Thrones game.
I
Even
agree with
closer
that
than the
completely.
actual Game of Thrones game.
I agree with that completely. I mean, here's
Yeah.
another perfect example of what we're talking about. Telltale has 4 other IPs in the works for games that are going to be the exact same kind of game.
Yeah, I mean, with The Walking Dead, they really hit it out of the park. Even
They
the
did.
second season, I shed a manly tear when that ended.
Yeah, I wouldn't say what the ending is. Some people still.
You know the Goosebumps effect? Do you ever read the
Yeah.
Goosebumps books back in the day? That's what Telltale is doing, essentially. They're making a video game version of a Goosebumps book.
Well, the thing is, and it's like with the game, it's like
Encircled
you're
stories.
every major IP is gonna have its Telltale version, and then it takes away from how powerful those can be. I actually think The Wolf Among Us is my favorite of those.
Yeah, Walking
Ooh,
Dead
do
and
you-
Wolf Among Us are my favorite,
you-
definitely.
Do you any
I
of you
think
guys
the Game
watch
of Thrones
or
one is
read?
a terrible idea, especially in the sense that they're already ripping the story apart, and now they're adding new stuff to it.
Have any of you guys any of you guys actually read Fables?
I read the first few. Actually, I think I have read almost to the beginning of the war again.
Okay.
I've read
yeah.
a lot of them. I think
I have
Cool.
not, but I heard that they're good.
they are good.
Yeah,
That's-
you want to
that's
give
fine.
that a shot.
Okay.
But speaking of Vertigo comics, another segue. God damn it, we're getting good at this.
We're getting
Yeah,
good.
man.
Another Vertigo comic, I think a Vertigo comic, and my favorite comic because I only ever really read 4. Absolutely my favorite of all time, Preacher.
Never read Preacher, and I'm curious to see what A&E is going to do with it.
Yes, the
I
pilot
recently
episode
heard that was amazing. A good friend of mine at the vape shop was like, "You need to
Yeah.
read this."
Is being filmed, and I've kind of been on a bit of an emotional roller coaster with this because the director is Seth Rogen.
Mmm. See,
That doesn't worry me.
I can see how it worries you, and I think it falls back into the Leto Ledger thing, where given the right opportunity and the right creative group, like you can go outside of what you're known for.
Did
Yeah,
did you
well,
ever see
to me, wait, if
the
I,
I'm sorry, I'm cutting you guys off.
yeah,
Did
no,
you
no,
ever
go
see
for it.
the sex? What's the sex tape movie? Let's Miri and Zach make a porno.
Yeah, I saw it.
No, I
I
haven't seen that.
think Rogan directed that. I could be wrong, but I thought that was a great shot in the dark comedy movie for him. I don't know whether he had any part of it or they just were like, you would be perfect for this, you should do it, or if he directed it or if he wrote it. I don't have all that information, but I do know that I thought that him being involved in that was a great step in the we need to branch out and make new comedy, because as raunchy as that movie was, it was hilarious. It was very, very funny.
It falls into that dramedy thing.
I
So
think that
my thing is, I
Zach-
don't want to write him off as that stoner that kind of fell into his fame and his fortune and isn't really that good. I think he's got some talent. I think him directing things is a great thing.
Kevin Smith wrote and directed Zack and Miri, by the way.
Yeah, Kevin Smith. Okay.
Well, he's great.
But the way that I've remained excited for this series, despite the obvious censorship that would come with being on a network like A&E, and censorship, you can't censor Preacher. It just wouldn't work. But the way I've remained excited is because Seth Rogen directing it is probably no accident, because Seth Rogen is somebody that I can see being a huge fan of Preacher.
Well, I mean, do you think it'll turn into how Constantine really disappointed, like, in the box office, and then I'm pretty sure the show's not doing that great as well?
I didn't mind the Keanu Reeves movie. It was, I know it was
I heard
bad.
that grumble.
It was bad. I will definitely, for the little bit I know about Constantine, it was definitely bad, and they took it all and they lumped it into one and they sold it in Hollywood. But I didn't mind it. It wasn't terrible, but I could be completely wrong.
Well, your opinion's never wrong.
Well,
I don't know the books. I'm a book preacher, though, so for my comparison, I'm not really sure how I feel about what's going on in the Game of Thrones twist sense. I can imagine that if you've read all of Constantine and then watched that movie, it could aggravate you. I kind of feel that book loyalty there. Austin?
All right. Do you mind if I ruin the first book of Preacher for you?
But this is the pilot. You can ruin whatever you want.
All right. So in the first episode, I suppose, of Preacher, what it would be is from the first book, where the main character gains the power to get anyone to do what he says if he uses the power while he speaks. And they have to do it, literally.
Wow, that could go dark really quick.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and one of the main things that happens is a sheriff that had been chasing him and his friends. He finally is face to face with the sheriff, and he tells the sheriff to go fuck himself.
Oh no!
And the next scene is the EMTs saying yeah, we actually had to pull his own severed penis out of his asshole.
Damn.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's for A&E, because they had to censor the word fuck at the end of one of the seasons of The Walking Dead. I still kind of see the Preacher and AMC jiving with each other, because Preacher is raunchy, but in a bitingly satirical way.
Yeah,
HBO is definitely the place for Preacher.
Yeah, I feel like TV is getting a little crazier. I mean, yeah, I got a kid on the way, and I definitely pay attention to that stuff more, but I forget what show we were watching, but it was cable TV, and it was fuck and all this crazy shit and stabbings. I'm like, what the fuck? And it was not pay-per-view or movie channels or premium stuff, and I was like, holy shit, man. So I think that boundary keeps getting pushed more and more, and I could see them trying to push it with a story like Preacher.
All right, I'm still excited, but yeah, I mean, with your kid coming on the way, you want to start watching those the old cartoons that are just secretly fucked up.
Dude, I've been watching nothing but The Amazing World of Gumball as far as cartoons goes.
Gumball.
The Amazing World of Gumball. It's got all these different animation styles. It's weird. It comes out of England. It's fucking awesome.
Huh.
I haven't
for
really
me,
been
if it's
watching any cartoons.
For me, if it's not Rocko's Modern Life or Invader Zim, it's Adventure Time. Actually, that's the one that I'm.
I heard that's really good.
I'm giving it a shot, but it's still the old stuff for me.
I love
The
that
last
Pokemon.
cartoon I was really into, aside from like anime and manga and stuff, was the Avatar, and now there's this new Legend of Korra, which I've
Yep.
heard is amazing, but I have not watched
I
it.
heard it's really good.
Oh yeah, I'm not so sure. Yeah, I don't really know
The
anything
original
about
animated Avatar series on Nickelodeon was amazing.
It was really good. It was.
it. I
a
did
big-
like that.
It was a big step for that kind of. It was like to give it real plot
was-
and
it
depth
was
and
exactly-
continuity and.
And darkness, a little bit of darkness.
Mhm.
It was great. I loved
Okay,
it.
yeah, all right, maybe I'll check that out.
I'm pretty sure
Oh.
Korra deals with sexuality as well.
Ooh,
Really
Hmm.
wow.
hot and heavy.
Probably not so hot and heavy.
Maybe just some light petting.
All right.
Hand jobs with spit.
Oh man. So, anybody else have anything else they'd like to talk about, or is because I don't even really know how long we want to go for this.
We're at 36.
What's your
Ah.
next most anticipated game if you have one?
Can I go first?
Sure.
Go for it.
Phantom Pain.
Ooh.
Metal Gear, baby. I'm looking forward to it too.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know how I'm gonna play it,
I f-
but I'm looking forward to it.
and I feel for Kojima because since he made Metal Gear 1 on the MSX, he's wanted to make different games.
Yes.
And
They just
he
keep
has been
pumping.
tied to this game forever. And the way that they're fucking him and doing all that is terrible, but he'll be out and he could do his own thing, which I am excited to see what he does with a different publisher or he starts up his own thing. The man is fucking brilliant.
Having
Yeah,
his
the
own
ma-
creative design, yeah.
Yeah, someone will let him work.
Yes, I mean, he is going to be on something and it's going to be the
Doesn't
new
need a
hotness.
Kickstarter.
But the way that it's gonna fill in that last little gap, and it's open world, and if you haven't played Ground Zeroes, I don't care if you bitch and moan it's $20. That game has more gameplay in it than some $60 releases,
Yeah, I have
man.
played Ground Zero.
and I love it all. I love the story, the lore, the wackiness, the great gameplay. Every time they
humor.
do a Metal Gear, they're always
Definitely.
bringing something new to it.
Yeah, that's the way I feel with Fallout.
They are one of the few games I will agree has only gotten better with age.
And I see how you could say that with Fallout, but to me, the only difference, I just feel like mechanically, New Vegas and Fallout 3 are the exact same game.
Well, yeah, they were released so close together, but
Yeah,
I don't really count New Vegas in the like official lore, but that's whatever.
that's understandable. I mean, if it's
Um,
not,
Yes, I
you
think
can say
that,
it's a very when Diablo 1 did that expansion, but it wasn't really considered it. It was what was that called? What's that fucking Diablo 1 expansion called? I'm gonna look at while you continue saying something.
well, I mean, I guess New Vegas is in. I liked it a lot, and it brought a lot to the table for in terms of characterization for the Wasteland. So you know what, I'm saying no. New Vegas is in.
Okay. Hellfire, Diablo Hellfire. I'm pretty sure it wasn't even made by Blizzard. I'm trying to remember the details on it.
Perhaps
Never ran into
it
that
was
one.
it. All right.
Sierra
All right, let me-
Online published it. It wasn't even Blizzard.
Oh, Sierra.
And they made good games back in the day, but they don't make a Diablo game. Like it was
No, but Sierra's back, by the way. They're making a King's Quest.
I heard about that. It kind of makes me want to play the original King's Quest and bang my head against a fucking wall.
Yeah, well,
Because I'm a terrible item puzzle solver.
oh yeah.
But really, The Walking Dead and Telltale are the modernization of that. So if Sierra takes that kind of template and maybe doesn't do a choose-your-own-adventure story and maybe a little more gameplay than decisions, I think it could be great.
From what I have seen, that's what they want to go for.
Yeah.
However, the only like videos that I've seen is like a small trailer and something highlighting their voice cast, which is pretty good.
Interesting.
Um,
Can I ask you what because I want to get back to Mega's question, what is your most anticipated release?
yeah, I've been trying to think of one
Oh,
while you're
interesting.
because it's because I can't go Witcher 3 because that's like 2 days from
You
now.
can. Why couldn't you? You waited long enough for it.
That's true. I've been waiting since 2011.
Exactly. Is that the one for you? Because that's awesome.
No,
Well,
I'm gonna try to go deeper.
all right.
Dig
go
deeper into my
Dig
soul.
deep.
I suppose in order to satisfy some sort of childlike need, I could go with the new Legend of Zelda for the next year.
Oh.
Because for until I became so, versed in Fallout, Legend of Zelda was absolutely my favorite game series of all time.
What's your favorite Legend of Zelda?
Wind Waker.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Ocarina
have
of
to go on
Time
my
is pretty
list,
good,
too.
but Wind Waker is the shit.
Link to the Past is mine.
Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about the 2D ones. uh,
I have nothing against Wind Waker. I actually don't like Ocarina as much as the general populace does.
maybe Majora's Mask.
See, and that's one I never finished. It was
See, I could make a case for any of them.
yeah. That's how
So,
much-
although
Well,
the problem is I have not finished Skyward Sword. I have it right here, down somewhere.
by your crotch, I hope.
Oh yeah, but
yeah, that
I
and
don't-
some of the other new top view ones on like the DS I haven't played. But
Those
aside
are,
from that,
those
all
are
of
fun. Those
yeah,
good.
I played every one of those but Spirit Tracks.
yeah, I didn't do
I-
Spirit Tracks.
I just couldn't do that one.
Link Between Worlds was fun as far as like a love letter to a Link to the Past.
Oh, loved it.
Yep. So
But
that's another thing that goes back to those guys making the same game. What if they made something different?
well, they have been trying to do that.
Do you think they branched out enough with like that idea of the dungeons being the world in Skyward Sword?
Oh no, I was talking about some of their newer IPs, like Splatoon.
Oh, okay, Nintendo. Yeah.
Apparently, people who have actually played it
Are,
are
like,
really
balls crazy
kind of
for it.
excited about it. Yeah. And let's see what they have to say at E3.
Oh no, it's Sega who's not going to be at E3. Never mind. Yeah, Nintendo will be there. Sega won't be at E3. They're no longer buying space there.
Oh, that's a shame.
I'm afraid Nintendo's going to go the way of Sega if they don't start making games.
I've been feeling that way for about 8 years now. When
Yeah.
when they debuted the Wii, I was worried, and since then there hasn't been a knock the fucking ball out of the park home run title from Nintendo in quite some time. They keep beating Link to death. There hasn't been a new Metroid game. Like they're coming out with like Play with Your Friends, Zombies This, and Animal Crossing, and all these other titles. And aside from like the new Legend of Zelda that's coming out, what have they really brought? Like they haven't, like they used to revolutionize the industry, and lately they've just been kind of cranking out the same dead horse that they've been beating for the past 8 years.
Well, for as far as the Wii goes, that was one of their most commercially, financially successful platforms.
That's why the trend continued.
Yes. And that's why every other fucking platform was like, Microsoft's like, the Kinect! Sony's like, the Move! Because now we're into jiggling our hands around again. Terrible
Yeah, no.
idea.
Yeah, I've never been a supporter of the Kinect. Like, for me, the Wii was never about the motion control. Okay, Wii bowling's fun. Okay, I can do Wii archery with my friends. But when I think Nintendo, I think Mega Man super hard 2D side scroller. I think Legend of
Oh,
Zelda
absolutely.
in all of its forms. I think Super Metroid. I think the things that made me love it, not
The-
ooh,
Yeah.
I have motion controls. Like
Yeah.
I had a 360. I never gave two shits about a Kinect. I don't want to stand up. I don't want to
Like,
jump around. I don't want to exercise. I do that all fucking day. I sit down to play video games to relax and play video games.
I had a
Be
Wii
active.
for 2 weeks, and I was like, I'm tired of swinging my arm around. But, I know I'm jumping in, Austin, but I really want to say this. I got a Kinect for Christmas that year it came out. I was like, oh, cool. Actually, I picked up the box while I was wrapping. I'm like, this is a Kinect. My wife's like, shut the fuck up. I'm like, this is a Kinect. She's like, how do you know? I'm like, the box. It's the shape. I got it. Don't worry. She is not surprised. I think she's only surprised me once with presents. I'm a really good guesser. But we played Nude, that weird, like, adventure game where you're, like, on a raft and stuff, and take pictures of you while you're playing.
Yeah.
And so at the end, you get this, like, fast-forward gif of your naked body flopping around. I mean, that is some of the most fun we've had together playing video games. It was amazing.
And you did that nude.
Absolutely.
That sounds amazing.
But I really don't see much need for the Kinect. I've never used the motion controls, but on the Xbox One, the voice activation is, at least for me, pretty flawless.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
But it also makes you the laziest human being on earth, as I lived with a roommate that did that and would do everything he could to not get off the couch. Xbox, beat me off!
But you shouldn't say that, because you just said, I'm tired of swinging a controller around for the Wii. Him saying he wants it on off, I mean, fuck. He works all day, he exercises.
Nah,
fuck that controller, that bitch turns on for him.
True. You got me there in the sense that it makes you have to do less, but...
This is the future, man. I want fucking devices plugged into my arm.
Personal, but my thing is, like, when he's yelling at me to, like, get him some food and a drink, it's like, fuck you, get off your ass.
Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, you're not the Xbox, you're not Siri. I'm so mean to my Siri. Her name is Robot Bitch.
Oh, yeah, nice.
And I say some horrible things to her, and my wife's like, I don't know why she works for you. She should look for other work.
Yeah, I still don't have any,
piece of shit.
I still don't have an AI companion.
I don't really consider a companion as much as a slave, but...
yeah, I'm still a couple generations before that.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm looking into getting a new phone.
My AI companion is my phone, and I yell at it all the time.
Well, eventually robots will take over us, and that'll happen.
It'll be Terminator. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. That's going to happen more than a zombie apocalypse.
My friend works for Oracle, and they're basically Skynet, and he's like, yeah, that shit's totally going to happen. Nice.
Speaking of that, let's get right back around and close this off with get back to shitty remakes.
Oh, wait,
the new Terminator.
What was Mega's game?
Oh shit, I'm sorry, and I didn't even really pick one.
You didn't. You copped out.
I honestly
you said Zelda.
You said Zelda, but you said you might have something else. For me, I honestly don't know. I haven't really researched anything new that's to come out aside from Street Fighter V, which I'm kind of looking forward to because I love the Street Fighter games and I loved 4, so I want to see what they do with 5.
I just love how you asked us the question. You're like, oh, I don't know.
But didn't have any ammo to back it up. That's why I asked the question.
Okay, yeah, no, I got one.
All right, what is it?
It's not a game, but I'm going to indulge my addiction even more.
Let's hear it.
Whatever Yacht Club Game's new game is.
Ooh.
Who's Yacht Club?
Shovel Knight.
The makers of Shovel Knight. They are on fire.
Yes,
definitely. So I'm with them.
That made Volgar, and the guy that's going to make his new Metroidvania, the guy that made Symphony of the Night.
Adult Swim made Volgar. Bloodstained is the game you're talking about. Ishiro, I can't pronounce his name, but he met
Adult Swim made Volgar? I thought it was one guy.
No, Adult Swim Adult Swim was in it. It's an Adult Swim game.
Oh, okay.
No shit.
Yeah.
So that's why it had so much press.
And then the guy you're talking about is the guy who also left Konami unceremonious. Yes, that's right. The game's called Bloodstained. It's a Symphony of the Night-esque game, and I hate the word Metroidvania.
Me too.
But it got its goal in like minutes.
Hard.
Oh yeah, it's way up there. It's funded.
That pisses me off though, because I feel like that defeats the purpose of Kickstarter.
Yep, definitely. That's a great topic.
If you're a big name and have all these people and talent behind you, you should go seek investors and let...
Yeah, I'm sorry, but if you already have millions of dollars, you should not be asking the public for money.
But then it's like the public's getting it, but then some of the games that have come out of Kickstarter have been questionable, and it's a gray area, and they're definitely addressing it. But I feel like it's so shitty to the people that like really have a new idea and don't absolutely have the capital at all to do this thing, and
they get overlooked. Yep,
they get
overlooked.
Like Shovel Knight. Yacht Club Games is now a respectable publisher in my eyes, but before the Kickstarter for Shovel Knight, they were nothing.
Exactly, and I think Kevin Smith should get the fuck off of Kickstarter. I love you. You first of all are like a planet. Please start losing weight. I worry about your health.
Yeah.
He goes up and down.
He's like a planet.
He's
mostly just up, but
I just think like you've got enough money. You've got the Weinsteins in your pocket. Like, go somewhere else for money for a movie. It's tough.
Yeah. So I guess that you guys want to end that episode here on on an intervention for Kevin Smith.
On a fuck you, Kevin Smith moment.
I feel like we've been all very critical. Let's say like one moment in a game or something we've done that was like a lot of fun.
Oh, just like
fuck yeah, that was awesome.
All right. I found the double secret in Shovel Knight.
What was it? I saw you doing that. Was that really a code on the wall?
No, I don't know what it is. But I went into, I just shoveled literally every block, and I found what it is. It's like a like a passageway or like another room or something, but I didn't go in it. I'm saving it for the broadcast.
Oh, you're a cliffhanger, son of a bitch.
Yes, you
Yeah.
By
are.
the way, when you were hopping into those poor statues, I was laughing, but I was like, use the fists. The fists will get you across.
Oh, God.
Oh no, the fists won't because you have to have dirt. You could have used the propeller to get across. Whatever.
Yeah, I didn't have that yet.
Oh yeah, well, you're terrible.
I know.
Oh, I was watching that for a while. I was like, wow, this is painful, but funny.
Oh, come on.
It was
all right.
funny though.
As a person who's never played Shovel Knight, I think Blenders is a beast.
Thank you.
I burned through that in a sitting.
Every boss that you've come to, you've destroyed. You have not died.
You got to play it on hard mode and stop using upgrades. Like, don't upgrade your health with the meal tickets and magic.
Full level 1 run Shovel Knight.
And I like how Shovel Knight, for example, let's talk about somebody doing something the same but different. Yeah, it's Mega Man, but it's Mega Man, it's Dark Souls, it's Super Mario 3. It's a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I like it. I can't wait to play it. I have it.
I mean, there's a consequence to not getting your money back. Like, you die, if you don't get it that next time, it's gone.
Yep. So, OG, a good experience that you had? God, it feels like we're going through like video game therapy.
I think
after
it is
just-
though good because I think it's good because, like I say, we
I
get
like
so
the
wrapped up
rapid-
into all
Yeah,
the.
we focus and we hit hard and then we move on, and I like it.
I think we need to have a good positive about it too.
All right, go.
This
We're
ain't
having a
all-
happy time.
This is good.
I'm trying to think. I've been pretty pleasantly surprised with Dying Light. It's been a lot of fun.
Okay.
I never played Zombie Paradise Island Escape Vacation Party.
Yeah, I forget the name of it. too.
Dead Island.
Dead Island. You said Dead something.
My name's way better.
This, yeah, I never played this one time at band camp. So,
But I really think like the running goes really well together. The combat's pretty satisfying. It's just been fun to play, except a couple hiccups. But I was like, wow, this is really fun, and it's been pleasantly surprising.
all right, very good. And it's, I feel like the group leader. And Megastrap, do you have something to tell the group? Would you have something to share?
Well, shouldn't we like say thank you for sharing? Thank you for sharing, Austin.
Oh, yes, thank you for sharing,
Austin.
OG.
Thank you for sharing, OJ.
Hi, my name is Austin, and I'm an alcoholic.
I'm
What was the
addicted
question
to
again?
electronics. What has been like a positive, fun experience in a video game like that you've had that was like, yeah, that was fucking awesome.
I gotta
Relatively
say,
recent.
I'll give it to beating Demon Souls for playing all of the Souls games multiple times. Now doing a challenge run of Dark Souls 1 where I can only be level 1 and try and fight as hard as I can against all these bosses. Like I feel like doing it backwards and going back and playing Demon Souls last gave me a great awe for how far they've come. And I haven't played Bloodborne yet, so I don't know if we're beating a dead horse with everything. But after going back to Demon Souls and playing everything, playing Dark Souls today, I still had a moment of, oh, that's totally right out of Demon Souls, and that's amazing, and I love it. It's
Cool.
I
man.
really enjoy the Souls games. They're definitely in my top 5 favorite games of all time. And for me, it was very nice to go back and play something from experiencing where they've come, but going back and experiencing where they started. I really enjoyed that.
So that micro nostalgia.
There you go.
That's
Yeah,
really
all
fun.
right.
Reverse nostalgia.
So, all right, I guess I'll do us a little outro.
You do the music.
Yours.
Well, all right,
totally-
that is
I can't resist.
that's it for this episode of The Blend. If you would like to learn more about OG Bear or Megastrap, the two handsome Twitter icons to my right, go ahead and click on them, and you will be taken to their respective pages. If you would like to see more of The Blend, you can click on the Blend itself, and you'll be taken to a playlist where there will hopefully be more episodes in the coming weeks. I am Austin from Sentient Blender Productions.
I'm OG Bear.
And I'm Megastrap.
All right.
Bomb bomb.